Stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. That's all you need to say. I don't see any mucus secreting goblet cells. Okay, what organ? Prostate gland. Remember I showed you the prostate gland the other day? Okay. This is what the prostate gland looks like.
Is that?
No, that's prostate gland. All right, what are we looking at here? This is a follicle. It's got a large antrum. See the antrum, right? It's got the ovum, and then what's this area around it called? Anybody, real quick. Got to go through this quickly. Zona pellucida, and then what are these? Corona radiata, and what's the fluid inside here called? Antral fluid or liquor folliculi. And then what's this area at the base of the ovum where it's connected? That's the cumulus oophorus. I've seen it in your book. Look it up in your book. What are these?
Sperm.
And what do you have to know about sperm? You have to know it has a head, right here, a midpiece, and a tail. Okay, the head is actually a condensed nucleus. The midpiece are helical mitochondria, and then the tail is a flagellum with a 9+2 arrangement of microtubules making up the axoneme core. This one shows you actually, what's the lighter area on the top called? Anybody remember what this is called? Okay, maybe we didn't get to it in lecture, but this is the acrosomal cap. This is the remnants of the Golgi apparatus, which contain hydrolytic enzymes. Because remember, the Golgi segregates lysosomes from secretory proteins. Anyway, here's your condensed nucleus covered with an acrosomal cap. Here's your midpiece, which is the helical mitochondria. And here's your flagellum coming down. This one shows you a really good midpiece right there. And sitting right here is what's called a proximal centriole. And sitting down here is a distal centriole. And the centriole is like the basal body, right? It's what the microtubules emanate from, and this acts like a movement coordinator, okay? But anyway, here, the light part at the top, that's your acrosomal cap. That's what contains the hydrolytic enzymes, especially hyaluronidase, which eats away the zona pellucida, which contains a lot of hyaluronic acid. All right, what are we looking at here? You're looking at a combination of intercircular and outer longitudinal smooth muscle. Now, I'm not sure what the cut is, so I can't tell you which is which, but if it's cut in a certain way, this would be the intercircular and outer longitudinal, but if you rotate the tissue 90 degrees, this could be the intercircular and outer longitudinal. Again, it just depends on how the thing's cut. So, you know, but you have two rows of smooth muscle. This is smooth muscle cut in cross-section. Smooth muscle longitudinal section. You see the nuclei, obviously, right? So you can imagine these being spindle-shaped cells. And notice here, the nuclei are located in the center of the cell, right? You'll say, why don't all of them have nuclei? Because, again, if you cut right through here, you're not going to hit a single nucleus. If you cut through here, you're going to hit one, possibly two nuclei. That's why you only see nuclei scattered throughout. Does that make sense? What is this? What organ?
Testes.
That's the testes. So what are those? The seminiferous tubules, and then what are little things in between this triangular area right there? That's the interstitial tissue that makes up the what? Testosterone. Okay? Okay, this is a higher mag of a seminiferous tubule. I'm not going to make you learn the different cell types in it. Just know that this is a seminiferous tubule. These are maturing sperm cells. You see all these? These are the tails of the sperm cells. These are the heads of the sperm cells embedded into the epithelium. This is called germinal epithelium. If I ask you, what kind of tissue is this? You say germinal epithelium. On the ovary, the germinal epithelium is a simple cuboidal epithelium on the outside of the entire ovary. But in males, the germinal epithelium is what lines each of the seminiferous tubules. All right, what kind of tissue? Moist stratified squamous epithelium again, and I can't really tell you where this is from. I think this is actually from the vaginal canal, but again, there's not enough to really tell, so I'm not going to go for that. Okay, what are we looking at? This is hyaline cartilage, possibly of the trachea, because there's your thyroid gland. You got thyroid gland, you have adipose tissue, you've got hyaline cartilage, you've got submucosa, you got the mucosal lining, and this is a very out of focus, but you know that's pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, okay? So again, I would know hyaline cartilage, and then what's the pink area right there? Okay, what's this right here? But it's split. This is an artifactual split. This should not be ripped like this. See how it's ripped? It should look more like this over here, okay? But again, you have to understand when things are made in the lab, things happen. All right, now what are we looking at? This is actually non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. It actually came from the esophagus. I know this is a slide of the esophagus. But it's got several layers of smooth muscle. And I had two separate pictures. I tried to piece a piece down here because it was much thicker than the slide had. So I didn't make it, you can see the line going across there. But this is a moist stratified squamous epithelium, okay? All right, this one's kind of hard. I would take a rather generic answer for this one. What is this? It's the sublingual gland, right. It's actually, I would have just taken salivary gland. These are mucus secreting acini of the sublingual gland. And you can see here's a duct right here. It's kind of leading out. It's kind of weird how it kind of crisscrosses. Looks like one of those divergent diamonds that you drive on down with South National, doesn't it? I wonder if the guys that were designing that said, hey, look at this duct. Maybe we can make roads like, no. Anyway. But these are mucus secreting acini, okay? This is the sublingual gland. All right, what are we looking at? Another pre-test thing that many people missed. This is a hair follicle. But what's this thing right here? How many of you drew a hair follicle with a sebaceous gland? Okay, so again, go back. This one actually has a hair in it, okay? This one's just developing a hair. They've got like, there's a glassy layer, a hyaline layer. There's different layers, but don't worry about that. Just recognize it as a hair follicle with sebaceous gland. Okay, what's in the center there? Interstitial tissue, right. This is, what organ is this? Okay, and what are the things around it? Seminiferous tubules. Okay, what organ? This is the lung, okay? These are little outpocketings. These are alveoli, right? But if you look, you kind of see a pathway coming this way, a pathway coming this way, this way. So this is a common chamber leading into several little areas. So that could possibly either be an alveolar duct or an atrium. I take either one. You're not clearly into an alveolar sac. This looks like it could be an alveolar sac. This one has 1, 2, 3, possibly some more over here. So any of the common area out here would be either atrium or alveolar duct. Anything that's got 1, 2, 3 or more little humps, that would be an alveolar sac. Each little one of these would be a what? Alveolus, right? But this is lung tissue. All right, now what are we looking at? This is another one. Got to go back and think. Do you know this one, Abby? Probably submandibular. Parotid's almost all serous, okay? This one has mucus acini with serous demilunes. See this crescent-shaped thing? See how it comes to a point there, a point there? See how you have this crescent moon-shaped thing? That's called a serous demilune. Here's a serous acinus. Here's a mucus acinus. Remember, the submandibular is kind of mixed. But that's clearly a serous demilune. Can anybody see the crescent shape there? So get that mental image. So, you know, you just say salivary gland. I'd be happy with that one. If you're not sure, put something down that's generic. At least you might get 1 point. But if you identify it wrong, then it's wrong. Okay? What organ? Liver. All right. Central vein, converging sinusoids and rows of hepatocytes. Again, I hope nobody misses liver. You should know Kupffer cells. You should know endothelial cells. You should know hepatocytes and so forth. Again, hair follicle number 2. Obviously with a sebaceous gland, right? Which we know is a holocrine secreting gland, right? What organ? What organ? Who drew this one in the gallbladder? I always call this the sloth or monkey reaching for the sky. Okay? See how he's got his arms up going, come back and get me. Oh, the little alien guy. There's his head, there's his two arms. But this is the gallbladder, which has these bizarre little extensions that come off. Okay? This is in your slide pictures that I gave you, right? Go back and look at the different gallbladder ones. Okay, what are we looking at? What's this a slide of? Thick skin. You clearly see a spinosum, then a granulosum, then a lucidum, then a corneum. That's all you need to see. Does anybody have a problem with that? Sure. You can see this on the test on Thursday. You should be able to tell me the layers. If I say, what's this from here to here, what are you going to say? What's this from here to here? Spinosum. What's this? And it's kind of like the retina. You know, I can just give you part of it, but you should be able to tell me what the layers are. First day, you had no clue what you were looking at. Think how far you've come in just one simple semester. That's classic. That's test quality. Again, if you don't know this, just hand in your test and take a 0. Okay. What is it? Okay, this is another one. If you don't know these by now, then you're in the wrong course. You need to be on the, you ought to be that child that's left behind if you don't know. These are mucus-secreting goblet cells. Huh? You're recording this? That's fine. I stand by it. Okay, mucus-secreting goblet cells, right? What's this? That's a growing ovarian follicle. Where is it located? What part of the ovary is it located in? In the cortex of the ovary, right? Okay, and it has a corona radiata, it has a zona pellucida, it also has a cumulus oophorus, an antrum filled with antral fluid. But it's still getting bigger. It's actually buried inside. Okay, what are this? What are these?
Kidney tubules.
Which ones?
Proximal and distal.
They're both, right. Here's your proximal. See how thick it is? See how the nucleus is nice and round? Here's your distal, right? See how thin it is? Nice round nucleus. Can you not see a difference between this and this? If I showed you this, you should tell me it's from the kidney. It has a proximal and distal convoluted tubule, right? Does anybody have a problem with those? Straightforward. What are these? More intestinal villi. That might be.
That's the same picture.
It's the same picture. Yeah, I'm saying deja vu. All right. High mag of a what?
Trachea.
It may not be the trachea. It might be a bronchus. Remember, some bronchi will have pseudostratified columnar epithelium. So, you know, just I would take trachea and I would take bronchus. You know, this one, there's not enough evidence to tell me which is which. All I can see, I like this. Doesn't that look like a little face? Did you ever see the Vincent van Gogh painting where the guy, the screen, where the guy has his hands by his face and goes, ah, doesn't that look like him? All right? See, when you take histology, you see things that other people don't see if you know art. See, this is why you should take art courses. This is why it's a liberal arts education. Name the organ.
Testes.
You sure? You should be. Okay, it's the testes. What's this from here to here? Tunica albugini. It's the white covering made up of collagenous fibers. This is tunica what? It's got blood vessels. Tunica vasculosa. What are these? Seminiferous tubules. And what's in between them? Interstitial tissues, right? Okay, there's about 5 things I could ask from this slide, or 6. You should know tunica albugini, you should know tunica vasculosa, you should know seminiferous tubules, and you should know interstitial tissue, and this is the testes. What are these? I see villi, and I see lymphatic nodules, so these are what? Those are Peyer's patches. So what are we looking at? From the quiz today, you're looking at the ileum. What are these? This is classic. If you don't know that, then you don't know what you're looking at. Or that one. Abby knows, don't you?
Right.
Exactly. What's this